Greetings, cousins, aunties, and uncles. This is Jerry Gordon coming to you with a quick update on our progress with our new Freedom Fund Society program that we're launching. Now, I told you all that I was going to give you an update on our monthly performance. I was going to do that the end of the month. First of next month, that is going to be Wednesday. The last I checked, we were like at 10% for the month so far, but I'm going to let this month finish out. But in the meantime, I wanted to show you all how much money I have made. Now, this is my personal investment account. Okay. So I figured instead of just showing you 1 month, I want to show you what I've done over the last 12 months. Okay. So you can see the purple line is my account and the orange and blue line are the S&P 500 index and the NASDAQ. And you can see that I am up 154.94%. So if you had been investing with me from roughly October of last year to present, you would have earned 154% return. Absolutely no way you're going to get that type of performance in your 401k, your IRAs that you have at Fidelity, Vanguard. You're not even going to get this kind of return in real estate. You got to think about how many properties you would have to flip to double your money. Now, obviously you can, but the main thing with this is we are just riding the coattail of AI. I mean, y'all, I can't tell you how much money I've made just setting and forgetting kind of thing. And this is the type of performance that you all are going to need, particularly those of you who are behind with your retirement. Again, we are still doing the insurance. The insurance is important because it's guaranteed we get that lifetime income. But as I said 2 weeks ago, even after we do the insurance, y'all still got $200-300 a month. You got $5, 10, $15,000 sitting in your savings account that's not doing anything. This is the opportunity for us to put that money to work. Now, is there any guarantee? No, there's not any guarantee. But as they said, as the old saying goes, scared money don't make any money. You can't just sit on your hands. And by the way, if you all have been watching the news and paying any attention to what they're saying about Social Security, they're saying that Social Security is probably going to be insolvent even sooner, by 2030. The number that I've been hearing was like 2032, 2034. But with everything that's going on, it is negatively impacting Social Security. So I'm saying all that to say you can't afford to not be growing your money. Now, here's another thing that I think today's environment is teaching us, just to kind of take it to a personal level, is when you have other money, other streams of income, when you have a wealth bucket outside of your job, you move differently, right? You see, these white folks right now, they are looking for blood because they mad that their guy got killed by another one of them, but they are politicizing the issue instead of talking about what we need to talk about, which is what? Gun control. They don't want to talk about that. They want to politicize the issue. So guess what? Many of you are working for people who are Charlie Kirk supporters. They're Donald Trump supporters. They voted for Donald Trump 3 times in a row. They didn't care nothing about the stuff that he was doing and the stuff that he was saying. So guess what? They guy got killed. Now they looking for blood. So you are on your job right now, some of you, working for racist white folks. And guess what? You ain't got no choice but to be there because you ain't got no extra money. You ain't got $200,000-300,000 that's earned 150% over the last year. Y'all see what I'm saying? Think about your kids right now, how they're going to be in a position because of the AI revolution that's happening right now. Many of them, they ain't going to even be able to get a job when they get out of school. Y'all get what I'm saying? So this is not about making you rich. It is about giving you another bucket of money so that you can move with sovereignty instead of moving with fear, because this kind of environment that we're in today makes you appreciate, those of us who are financially independent, you appreciate living below your means. You appreciate being able to take that extra $20,000, put it in an account, double it or triple it, do that 2 or 3 times. Now, all of a sudden, when they start talking to you crazy at your job, you can throw them deuces up and say, you know what, I'm out of here. You get what I'm saying? So, this is more than just making money, building wealth. This is about making sure that your dignity stays intact. And again, the environment that we're in today highlights that more than any other time. Also, with this Freedom Fund Society, as I said, we're going to incorporate debt elimination into this so that by the time we finish this program in 10 years or 15 years, not only will you have a guaranteed lifetime income, because what we're going to do is take money out of the account and we're going to dump it into an insurance policy so that by the time 10 or 15 years has passed, the money that we've made in this account has actually helped us what? Build up our retirement income. You're building your exit strategy. Y'all get what I'm saying? So again, we're going to do that. And now another thing I've decided to do, if y'all go to my YouTube channel, I talked about this, and I told all my friends and stuff on Facebook the same thing. Stay out of the Charlie Kirk thing. Stay out of the Charlie Kirk. There's no reason for us to get involved in that. We ain't had shit to do with the boy getting killed. All of that's on them. What we need to be doing as a community is we need to be mobilizing economically. We need to be building our money, because I'm going to tell you this. The reason why racism has such a strong sting is because you broke. When you don't have a lot of money, when you have to stay on a job, when you don't have another source of income, when you don't have another bucket of money that's growing for you that can replace your W-2 income, you have to stay in those positions and you have to be victimized by these people. Y'all get what I'm saying? So what I want to do with this Freedom Fund Society is we're going to expand this to HBCUs and high schools in our community so that by the time your son, your daughter, your grandson, your granddaughter, your niece, your nephew, by the time they get out of school, we need them to have 6 figures in an account that's earning dividends and capital gains for them so that they don't have to be sweating bullets worried about how they going to pay back those student loans that they've racked up, which, by the way, they're not going to be able to pay them back unless they get a job. And right now we know, based on everything that's going on with AI, it is difficult as hell to get a job. Some of y'all watching this, y'all trying to get another damn job. Know that you qualified for the job. Can't get a job. Matter of fact, right now, to keep your job is a blessing. Some of y'all hugging the computer at your job, just thanking God that you got a job. You ain't even worried about a pay raise. You just happy that you can keep your job. Why do you have to live like that? So what I want to make sure of is that, yeah, maybe you have missed the boat. Maybe you didn't meet me 10 years ago, 15 years ago, but guess what? You can introduce your son and your daughter to this investment program. It's $1,200 a year. We can get them in and they can start investing those refunds that they're getting from school. They working right now. While they don't have all those obligations over their head, let's take that extra cash flow, put it to work so that when they get out of college, they can get a job, or if that doesn't work out for them, guess what they can do? They can start a business. They can do real estate investing. In other words, they have more breathing room. So what I'm also going to do is I'm going to give 10% of all of the net profits that we earn from the Freedom Fund Society towards establishing Freedom Fund Society chapters at HBCUs across the United States. And why am I doing that? Turning Point USA, which was co-founded by Charlie Kirk, received $1 million donation from a prominent conservative philanthropist. I can't remember the woman's name. I think it's something that starts with an F. $1 million donation, and they got something like over 100,000 requests to join Turning Point USA. Why the fuck they, excuse my language, Lord Jesus, I didn't mean to say that. But why are they so interested in joining Turning Point USA? They know all the stuff that this boy said. You know why? Because he embodied and personified everything that they've always been thinking. My grandmama told me this. I'm going to say it to y'all just in case you didn't watch my YouTube video. Always assume that every white person you meet is racist until they give you reason to believe otherwise. Now, my grandmother grew up in a different time, but guess what? Based on everything that we're seeing right now, I can't say that she's wrong, right? So I'm not surprised at all that they are supporting him and they all in their feelings and stuff. But guess what? Get your money together. That way you ain't got to deal with them, or you deal with them on your own terms. But we are not slaves. Ain't nobody watching this a slave. That shit is over with. So what we need to make sure we're doing is building up our money so that we don't have to be subjugated to having our dignity impugned by people who do not respect us for the value that we have brought to this country as a people. I refuse to stand by idly while Turning Point USA receiving money. They receiving all this attention and stuff. We need to have something like that for our community as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide a 10%. I'm going to give 10% of all the profits that we make from this program into establishing Freedom Fund Society chapters across the United States. And I'm also going to personally match whatever that is. So if it's $100,000 that we generate in profits, that in terms of the 10%, I'm going to also provide $100,000. That is just how committed I am to this. And that is just how important it is. So when you join the Freedom Fund Society, it is not just about making money, building wealth. We're also creating an economic movement to help the younger kids have more options where they don't have to deal with all this BS that they're going to have to deal with if they don't have any money. Okay. All right, and then also, I'm here in Nigeria. I'm about to leave. My flight leaves at 11:40 in the morning. So I just spent the last probably 30 minutes packing. I got some clothes in there that I'm washing right now. The thing I'm gonna say is I just finished registering the Blackwell Company to do real estate in the nation of Nigeria. So we are going to be doing real estate development in Nigeria. Now I told y'all, if y'all attended my class maybe 2 years ago, I told y'all I was gonna be doing real estate here, and you all could invest with me. What I've decided to do is keep the real estate separate. So my clients in Nigeria will be able to invest in Nigerian projects, and my clients in the United States will be able to invest in what we're doing in Atlanta. So we're going to do our first real estate project in Atlanta. I'm going to talk to y'all a little bit about that in the retirement class. All this stuff I'm telling y'all today, we're going to talk about in class. Okay, in the insurance class, we talk about making sure that we secure your retirement, but we also going to make sure that we're building up your money and taking care of all the other things that you all want to do as well. And then finally, just real quick, if you all have seen, I have an Eventbrite on Urban One, which is the nation's largest black-owned media company. Y'all probably heard of Urban One. They distribute and produce Ricky Smiley Morning Show, DL Hughley Show. They own TV One. Well, they have been bleeding money. The company is worth about $40 million. The stock is trading at $1.45 a share the last time I checked. That is an absolute disgrace. At the rate that they're going to be bankrupt. And guess what's going to happen? One of these white-owned media companies are going to probably come in and scoop up the company. They're going to probably keep the name, but they're going to have full control over that company. And why is this important to us people? It is important because we cannot afford to have white-owned media companies telling black stories and creating and telling black narratives. Look what's happened with Jory. Look what happened to Don Lemon. Look what happened to the BET Awards or something. They took that off air. Y'all see what they doing? You see that? So we can't afford to have all of our talent, our voices controlled by white folks that do not respect us and our views and do not honor our culture. So what I've decided to do is to acquire a seat on the board of directors at Urban One. It's going to cost about $2.5 million to do it, and I'm willing to do that myself. If I have to do it myself, I do it myself. It might take me a little longer to do it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a slot or a few places for those of you who are interested in partnering with me. Not only is it going to be culturally relevant for us, meaning we're going to really be able to now put financial literacy at the forefront instead of everything being about shaking your ass and Beyonce. All that stuff is doing nothing but dulling our senses. And while our senses are being dulled and nullified, they're taking everything away from us. So what I want to do with that board seat, now we're not buying full control of TV1. We're just buying an influence over TV1's programming decisions. And we're going to go in there with that proxy seat, and we're going to be able to get that support to change up some of the programming so that now the network will have an additional several additional revenue streams that are going to also be able to help our people build more economic power. Y'all, everything comes back to money. Everything comes back to money. Y'all get that? Why do you think they put Jimmy Kimmel right back on TV after right after they canceled him? They put him right back on within the same week. Money. You cannot fight against any type of bigotry if you don't have any money. That's point blank and period. So we got to make sure that financial empowerment is at the forefront of any conversation we have, any discussion we have about equal rights, making sure that our people get what they deserve. We get what we deserve as a community. So I'll be talking to y'all more about that in class. I'm going to wrap up this video, y'all. Thank you again for just being a subscriber, everybody. I'm really excited about what we're doing. I'm also putting out a book. I have a book that I just finished, and we're going to be helping single parents and newly divorced people. Okay, y'all want, if you are a single parent and you are going through a divorce, or you've been through a divorce and you can't figure nothing out, you don't know heads from tails, you don't know if you coming or going, guess what? All of you getting lost in the mix because of everything else that's going on. You getting lost in the mix. We can't forget that there's people out there that's in our community that are struggling right now. There's somebody out there with 2-3 kids and they don't know how they're going to make ends meet, much less retire comfortably. So we're going to talk about that in class. Thank y'all again. I'm going to wrap up here. This is Jerry Gordon, founder and CEO of the Black Wealth Company, where Black Wealth is our business. Remember, class, the retirement planning class is this Saturday, October, y'all, I be mixing up my dates, October the 4th at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We'll be going over all of these programs, but again, we're going to start with the insurance, make sure that we are maximizing the benefits of insurance for our retirement, and then we're also going to show you how we're going to incorporate the Freedom Fund Society, which is going to help us build up more money, help us get ourselves out of debt, and also position our kids and our grandkids as well. All right, love y'all. Thank y'all again for watching, and I will see y'all at our class on Saturday. Take care.